What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Sunday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Peralt. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt, and this podcast being brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. Now, I'm not going to do a DraftKings Pick 6 today. I'm going to do that on Monday night, so we'll do that tomorrow because I don't want to spend time talking about those plays because I've got 5 bets for you guys here today. I will not be on the live stream today, okay? Andrew Erickson's going to fill in for me here with Pat Fitzmaurice. So those two guys have got you on the live stream for all your player props, all your latest line movements and injury updates on the BettingPros YouTube channel. It's just smart for me to take the weekend off and not do a full, hour show just to get my strength back up. Next Thursday night, we'll do the pregame show for Thursday Night Football. Next Sunday, I'll be back as well. We ended up doing an hour yesterday morning on the Discord channel. We even did video for college football, and I gave out 3 plays that all hit. I gave out a college basketball play that also hit. Houston first half, that hit. The game did not. We had Army cash for us. We took Rutgers cash for us. We took, I forget the other game that we played. There was another dog that I played. We went 4-0 on those plays. Unfortunately for us, it was a losing day, although it could be either 1-3 or it might be 2-2. BYU's down at the half at the moment. We'll see if they rally to beat Utah, but the chalky day came back to bite me a little bit. I was worried about that going in there. Penn State won easily, which was good. BYU's in a dogfight at the moment at the break. Boise State won but didn't cover, and Houston lost the game outright in a hell of a basketball game. I mean, the Petaway kid for Auburn is a baller. Kid did nothing in the first game against Vermont. He went nuclear. I mean, this is why betting early college basketball is tough, right? Because you don't know which kids as freshmen are going to be really good. He had no points. He had, 2 assists and a couple of rebounds against Vermont. He went for, 22 against Houston? My God, hit the game-winning free throws. The kid was awesome. He was absolutely tremendous for Auburn. So, fun team to watch. Good game out of Auburn. So, it's the NFL. I've got 3 bets in the NFL. I've got 1 bet in college basketball, and I've got 1 bet in the NBA. Why? Because it's November. And you got to be careful going heavy with the NFL in November and December. These are the difficult months because the books have a lot of data, and the books' numbers are extremely sharp. This is when I start to do a bit more on the teaser side of things. I've got a same-game teaser. I have a 2-leg teaser. I've got 1 straight bet for us in the NFL. I'll give you a couple of options on player props if you would like to jump on player props. I think it's a decent time to jump in on a couple of them that kind of correlates with one of the bets that I have made. So I'll tell you that here in just 1 second. And then there's a number I don't really understand in college basketball that I think we have to play. And then I think there's an NBA bet that's got some good value. But before we do anything else, let's talk about DraftKings. The Pick 6, you can do it here Sunday. You can play the DraftKings Pick 6, play $5. You get $50 instantly in Pick 6 credits with the promo code JUICE when you sign up for a new account at DraftKings for their Pick 6 game. It's a new app to go and download. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. 18 plus in most jurisdictions, but other age and eligibility restrictions may vary. Valid only in jurisdictions where DraftKings Pick 6 operates. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including not limited to New York and California. Void where prohibited. 1 new Pick 6 customer, $5 gets you $50 issued as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. For terms, go to pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Okay, let's start with the Steelers. And the Steelers are on the road at Washington. Pittsburgh is 6-2 ATS. They're 4-1 they're 3-2 over their last 5 games. Washington is 7-1-1 on the year ATS. They are 5-1 against the NFC. They've covered their last 3 games. They're 4-0-1 over their last 5, and they are 4-0 ATS at home. Pittsburgh is catching 2.5 points here. They are road dogs. This total is 45. I think this total is a little bit too low. 6-3 to the over, but just 1-3 to the over, 3-1 to the under for Washington in their home games. Last 3 games all have gone over for the Steelers, including a road trip to Vegas and 2 games against the Jets and the Giants. I'm going to same game tease this. I've done this pretty well in prime time, but I think there's some value here in moving this to the Steelers plus 8.5. I can't see Pittsburgh getting blown out by Washington. And then over 39 with Russell Wilson at the quarterback at the helm. They're scoring more points. They're being more productive offensively. They've scored 26, 37, and 32 points over the last 3 weeks. And I think with Russell Wilson, even with the Jets and the Giants, defenses aren't horrible. They're not great, but they're not horrible defenses. Those games going over. I think it's value to pull this down to 39. We get 40 points scored. I do think you'll see a good passing attack here. A prop in this game that I do like is Jaden Daniels over his passing yardage. Shop around and find where the 222, 223, I think was what I saw with that. I think he throws the ball quite well here against this pretty stout Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I think they move the football. I do. I like Washington to win the game by 3 to 5 points, somewhere in that range. So I'll tease it up. Steelers plus 8.5, and we'll take the total down to 39 and go over in this game for a same game teaser here for 1.2 units. Second bet. Let's talk about just a straight teaser here. Chargers and the Niners. I'm going to pull the Chargers down. They're taking on the 1-7 ATS Tennessee Titans. This is the number 1 pick for survivor pools here. Chargers, I think, win the football game. Chargers have won 2 in a row and 3 of 4. They've won 2 games. They're 2-1 ATS at home. Tennessee is 1-3 ATS. They beat the Patriots, didn't cover in their last game. The hook got them, but that snapped a 3-game losing streak. Titans are not a good team. On the road, they lost to Detroit by 38. They lost to Buffalo by 24. They did beat Miami, but they lost to Chicago by 7. They're 1-3 ATS. They're 1-3 straight up on the road. I'm going to pull the Chargers down here from 7 to 1, and Chargers -1 here. On the other side, we're going to go to the Niners, who are 6.5-point favorites, and they're on the road, which is a little bit more of a hairier bet. But they're getting Christian McCaffrey back, and I just think they go and win the football game. They go down there. I don't think Tampa Bay, with all their injuries, Tampa is really banged up. I like the defense. Niners just to win the football game for 1.2 units. Teaser, Chargers, Niners, teasers for 1.2 units. Third bet and final bet here in the NFL, and I'll give you a couple of prop bets to go along with this. The Broncos are at the Chiefs. Now, the Broncos sport one of the best secondaries in the entire NFL. They're catching 8 points or 7.5, depending on the book. Make sure it's over 7. I got 8 last night. 6-3 ATS Denver against 5-3 ATS Kansas City. KC is 2-2 at home against the number. Broncos are 4-1 on the road. They got whipped in their last game against Baltimore. I expect a much better effort here out of the Denver Broncos on the road. Against New Orleans, they won by 23 points. Against the Jets, they were 9-point dogs. They won outright. Against the Tampa Bay Bucks, they were catching 6. They won by 19. Against Seattle, they were catching 6.5, and they lost by 6. This secondary, I think, is going to do work, and I think they're going to keep this game tight. Divisional matchups in November in Kansas City. I think this secondary, I think Patrick Mahomes throws interception. That should be a plus money bet. Mahomes to be picked off. I think DeAndre Hopkins gets shut down. I think Patrick Surtain Jr. and the rest of the secondary for Denver, I think they shut him down. They don't let him do what he did in the last game up against Tampa Bay. Don't think that happens. KC was a 9-point favorite against the Bucks, won by 6, didn't cover. They were a 9-point favorite against Vegas. They won by 7. They didn't cover. They did cover the 4 previous games, but back-to-back games for Vegas, for KC not covering. I think it's 3 in a row here. Denver +8 for 1.1 units. So NFL, same game teaser, Steelers +8.5 over 39 with Washington on the road, 1.2 units. Chargers -1, pulling that down from 7. Niners -0.5 point, pulling that down from 6.5 for 1.2 units. A little NFC West teaser. Broncos +8, just a straight play there with the Broncos +8 for 1.1 units. Now, to college basketball, where I'm now 3-1 to start the year. But if you bet the first half for Houston, like I recommended, you're 4-1. So we've done a pretty good job here in the college basketball ranks. Northern Iowa wraps up their 3-game homestand to start the season against UC Irvine. UC Irvine is 1-0 on the year, 2-0 really. They played Chapman, they won by 30, but they beat Loyola Marymount on the road by 15. I really like this Northern Iowa team. I told you guys going into the Milwaukee game, they're laying 6.5. They won by 19. I don't fully understand this number, to be quite honest. I think this number is a little bit too short here. I think Northern Iowa. I call Northern Illinois. Northern Iowa is going to be a very difficult team to play in Cedar Falls. And I know, UC Irvine is a program that's been successful, and they've, I was just reading up on them. It looks like they've got a couple of decent players, but this is just a number play for me. I have under a bucket for Northern Iowa at home with Ben Jacobson. Again, this is a top 10 team in the college, in the non-Power 5, okay? And College Basketball Insider is a respected publication, and they did a top 10, and they have Northern Iowa as a top 10 team. They don't have UC Irvine as being a top 10 team. I think Northern Iowa wins this game. Ben Jacobson will open up 3-0, and I think they open up 2-0 ATS here. Northern Iowa, -1.5 for 1.1 units. I love this. Under 2, I love the Panthers to protect home court here. Under probably is a decent play, to be honest, both with how both these teams are going to play. This from a speed perspective, I would expect a pretty slow pace in this game. Both games for Northern Iowa have gone under. Two games for Northern Illinois, UT Irvine have gone under. It's 145.5. I don't mind this game going under either, but I'm just going to lay the 1.5 points. Northern Iowa, Panthers win, Panthers cover. And then finally to the NBA, where the Golden State Warriors are 7-2 ATS on the road at Oklahoma City. Awesome game on Sunday night. This is a barn burner. 7-2 OKC. They have gone 4-1 over their last 5 games. They're 3-1 ATS at home. Golden State just got throttled by Cleveland, but everyone's getting killed by Cleveland. They're 11-0 on the year straight up. But before that, they had come out of the gate. They'd won 5 straight games and covered. They'd been just a machine, in particular, a machine on the road. At Portland, winning by 36. At Utah, winning by 41. At Houston, winning and covering. At Washington, winning and covering. At Boston, winning and covering. Not covering against Cleveland, but now here against Oklahoma City. Look, I just think this is a game that's going to come down to a 2 or 3 possession game, and 7.5 points I think is just too many. I think Golden State's going to have something here for OKC. I know OKC has been tremendous, but the defensive effort for the Warriors has been just simply tremendous. They've been great, but on the road, they're 5-1 to the over, which is really interesting, but it's because mostly that they're scoring, which is somewhat of a shocker. 127 against Houston, 125 against Washington, 118 against Boston. They gave up 136 to Cleveland, scored 117 to themselves, but they beat the Thunder beat Houston in their last game, 126 to 107 at home. They beat Orlando 102 to 86 at home, and they beat Portland 137 to 114 at home. So far, they are undefeated at home. OKC, they're 4-0. Warriors are 5-1 straight up on the road this year. They may lose this game, but I think this is a tight basketball game. All the way to the wire. Great game in the Western Conference. I'll take the points. Golden State plus 7.5. All right, so 5 bets for us here going today. 5.5 units in play. I already gave you a couple of prop bets if you want to add some extra stuff in there. We're going Steelers plus 8.5 with over 39. Same game teaser. Chargers -1. Niners 0.5 point. 6-point teaser between two legs. Broncos plus 8 for 1.1 units. Northern Iowa -1.5 for 1.1 units. And the Warriors in the NBA -1.5. Plus 7.5 for 1.1 units. Those are the 5 plays for me here on a Sunday for the Daily Juice. As long as we don't have a catastrophic day today, we'll wind up for the week. So thank you for this crazy time. I will never forget this week. No way in my life. I'm not on the live stream. Thank you to Pat Fitzmaurice and Andrew Erickson for holding it down for me. Noon Eastern time, 9 o'clock Pacific time on the BettingPros YouTube channel. Go watch those guys to get prop bets and additional plays here for Sunday for the NFL. And then we'll get rolling on Monday. I'll give you a DraftKings Pick 6 tomorrow and do some other stuff on Monday night for Monday Night Football. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast, presented by DraftKings.